we're here. Oh my gosh, this is the final reveal. It's Jen and Cindy, and we are here for the sort of the wrap up of our vision board event that we've run now for 5 days, and we're going to share with you guys our boards, our vision boards, share a little bit, sort of put a story to it to sort of make some sense. And then we're going to address a really great question that was posed within the group, and as well share some tips and ideas of how we can use our board to help sort of, I don't know, be a filter to allow you to kind of, you know, help move the needle forward towards getting or achieving those things that are actually on your board. So I know Cindy and I have started out, we didn't flip a coin, but in a conversation, I'm going first. So, all right, let's see if I can get this. I'm going to share my screen. There. Cindy, can you see that?
Not yet. Oh, yeah, I can.
Yay!
That's awesome, Jennifer.
Thank you. Well, I said, okay. So right off.
A totally different way to do it. Lovely, lovely.
Well, so I'll tell you to start out, okay? First of all, I did mine digitally. And I know we've talked about that you're interested in knowing how to do that. And so I think I'm going to do a video to explain how I use a really simple app on my phone and I create flyers and a whole bunch of things, but I also do digital vision boards and I have done them with the glue and the tape and the cutting images and the, you know, all that kind of stuff. And certainly I'm sure in the future I'll still do that sometimes. I would love to do a whole lot of different styles. This is super.
And sorry to interrupt, Jennifer,
Yeah,
but not everybody likes the pasting and the cutting and the drawing.
That's it. So
this is a really awesome.
It was a time constraint. I've got puppies in the house and a lot going on with, you know, our son just starting college from home. So, you know, all these things we've kind of got on our plates, and I wanted to be able to do this and find a way that would be really simple. And what I love is that it requires very little resources. And it also puts it in a format really quickly that I can literally put anywhere. So I've got it on my screen, on my computer, I've got it printed out, you know, I've got it on my phone in an album. Because it's landscape, like sideways and long, then it was more challenging to put that on the screen of my phone, right? That's more of a portrait. So I can't really put it there, but I guess I could change the shape of it, but the pictures would be so small it might not have the impact. But anyway, so I'll give you a little walkthrough. First of all, it's a tree. So I am in love with the tree of life.
I see that.
And I'm actually, my sisters and I are going and getting another tattoo, and it'll be the tree of life. Anyway, so I love the tree of life. I love what it represents. So right off the bat, I see a tree because, of course, that was sort of the idea behind it. And with the tree, I feel the foundation, the grounding of the roots, the strength, and you see those words. Oh, this is not my most updated. Oh, I should have got the one because actually above thriving, focused, resilient, I changed it. It's a big, sort of big, red I am ... Thriving, focused, resilient, consistent, disciplined.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Flourishing, accountable. So that's kind of like the foundation, and those are things that, you know, words that I do love words. So words will always resonate with me. I love quotes. I love everything to do with words. So those are words that I want to, you know, sometimes I step into them in areas of my life, and maybe I want to step into them more, and maybe in different areas of my life or whatever. But those words feel good to me. And then I've got a bunch of other things on here. So the two main things that I really was focusing on in here, and there was a few things I actually missed. I missed travel. I said, so I see the things I'm missing because I've been visualizing on the board, and it reminds me of, oh, I meant to put travel in there. So even though it's not there, in my mind, every time I see it, I see what I missed. The word grateful or gratitude should be in there too. Anyway, so that's not there, and I will update my board, but
Maybe you need to do another tree, Jennifer.
maybe.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that, well, maybe those words could go around the size of the tree. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure. In the app, it might be more challenging to round words, but there's probably an app that can stretch words into, you know, funky directions and stuff. But anyway, but I see it in my mind, just so you know, even though it's not on the board, right? And it maybe somebody might look at that and say, oh, darn it, I forgot it, and beat yourself up. Be kind, right? Like, I don't see it, but I see it because I'm thinking about it every time I look at my board now. So it's all good. So for me, I was thinking about fun, right? Fun, recreation, or the recreate yourself kind of thing. And as well, my career. And so I'll sort of just start. I can't point. I don't think I have a pointer in this thing. Maybe I do and I don't really know, but it doesn't matter. So I think of lots of adventures, particularly between my husband and I. Now Jacob's in college now. Of course, he's from college from home, and I love having him home for another year. But at the end of the day, our relationship is really important to me, and time that we spend together, but doing fun things and exploring. So up top on the right-hand side, Trevor and I we went to the city, we did farmer's market, and we went and had some drinks and some pizza that we absolutely love. And down below, we went out to supper, you know, a date night kind of thing, and did a little walk in Lunenburg, which is Blue Nose in the background. And the top center, it's just me. Trevor's taken the picture. And we found some chaga. We went for an explore in the woods, and I found chaga on the side of an old birch tree, which we've been hunting for chaga, and we hadn't found any yet, and I'm really excited about that. So those are little things that just bring me into that space. Now, Trevor's not the only person I want to spend time with for that kind of thing, but it represents that to me, and it's really important. You might think the center, the little ostrich, is crazy, or whatever that is. I don't know, is it an emu or an ostrich?
I was wondering about that one.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. So that's through Snapchat. And I went in, and I tell you, when you do the filters, I don't think I have laughed so hard. Cindy, sometime I'll have to send you some of the stuff that I have done on Snapchat. I don't really do anything with it except sometimes send something to somebody that makes them laugh, like Trevor or friends of mine, you know, whatever. And
I do it with my grandkids.
Exactly.
I love it.
Well, I laugh and laugh. Like, sometimes I'll go watch some little video because they have crazy voices and all this kind of stuff. But this picture reminds me to be silly, to play, to have fun, lighten up, right? Not everything has to be serious. So that's my retarded self in the center, and I love it. So right-hand side is a picture of the house I grew up in. So my parents' house. And it's just the back side. That looks over the Bay of Fundy. And we had rented through Airbnb, and now we do long-term rentals. And I love the house, and I love all the memories. But honestly, you know, my sisters and I, we've talked a lot about less is more. Now, granted, my sisters have more is more in the sense that they're very busy, and I don't love being busy. So there's some things I want to take off my plate, and moving forward, one of the things is I'd like to sell this house. So I have it marked as for sale, sold. And it's funny because one night I was actually dreaming, and I dreamed that the shop was empty and all of these things. And I mean, we've emptied the house now and stuff, but I said it was amazing because it was like a feeling I had never even imagined what that might even look like. And so I go back to that moment and grab that feeling and try and feel that more often, because it's going to happen, just a matter of time. So some of the other things there are people I want to spend time with. People that I love in my business, people that, mentor me, and people that I mentor, and someone I would love to do this business with. And perhaps someday she'll be more than just a customer, an incredible customer. But, and then there's titles. So regional vice president, executive regional vice president, the ERVP, NVP, ENVP, these are titles. It's just basically the stair steps that I want to climb. The ring is a 5-wide nation. So in my business, that's a really big deal. And it really, well, way before that, but certainly at that point signifies an incredible level of freedom and flexibility that I love. This business has given me so much freedom and flexibility. It's crazy. And I can only imagine, again, as I step forward, I help other people have that too. So that represents not necessarily where I go, but it represents who I'm taking with me. And that's something that I'm very excited about, because I absolutely love paying it forward. Then there's a shake down in the middle, and then on the left is me when I went to the gym, and I'm just like, I want to move my body more and I want to nourish it better. Mortgage-free living in the center. I know it's quite light, but Trevor, I know that's a huge part of his retirement plan, and that's something that we want to to be mortgage free. We're getting there, but I know by the time he retires, he wants that to be done, and that just, I can't even imagine, right? I mean, you have a mortgage for so friggin' long that that's kind of an amazing thing to think about. And then an author, as my sisters and I are working on a book and talking with somebody else about writing some books. So we'll see how that goes. And then of course there's, surround yourself with people who push you to be your best self. I love that. And believe in yourself, right? By being you. And
So important.
Highlight it. So that is my board. So
okay,
what do you think?
I have no questions. I love your words: thriving, focused, resilient, consistent, disciplined, flourishing, and accountable. Those are cool. And surround yourself with people who push you to be your best self. That is so true and so important. Wow, Jen, that's awesome. I love that. I need to learn how to do that. That's a different creative way.
Well, isn't it fun? I said, listen, we talked about this before in one of the previous videos, and just, there's nothing right or wrong about anything. This is about being creative, doing something that, works for you. And I was thinking of, what are some things that you love? I mean, some people might like a flower or a rainbow or whatever, and you don't even have to have anything. It just could be a page, and, it could be stuff everywhere. It doesn't matter. I know I love the tree of life. And so I was like, I may not have as many images, do you know what I mean? But I don't necessarily need more images. I need images that has meaning. And so anyway, the tree was just what I sort of latched onto, and I went with it. So anyway, I will stop my share. So you got no questions? I can't believe what you could have. We talked about it through.
Well, yes. And I love the tree of life. I think that's really cool. Well, now I'm like, oh, I got to learn that.
What's that?
That way. Now I have to learn how to do that with the, like on the computer.
It is so simple. It really is so simple.
What I find is probably a lot helpful too is you could have that on your phone. You could have that as your wallpaper on your computer.
So I do.
Yeah,
I do. So I have that. That's my screen right on my laptop. On my phone, I'll tell you right now that in my photos, I have an album set up specifically for my board. And
cool.
Then I airdrop it, or basically not airdrop, what is it? Screen share to my Apple TV, and I put it on the TV in the living room, and then I sit and do my visualization.
Awesome.
So, like there's lots of ways that you can kind of, use it. And again, even it doesn't have to be digital to make it digital, because of course you got a phone, take a picture, you can do all of the same things. It's, it's just great having options.
And I see the benefits of having it like you say, on your phone, on your computer, as just like hanging up in your office. So, you have to come into your office to see that poster board. So
exactly. And that's something that I always found with the ones that I've done before, right? They were on paper, and yes, I could have taken a picture, but I never did. And I never thought of it. And that's why I wanted to bring that up, because a lot of people don't realize, well, what if you never go in the room where that is? Do you know what I mean? Or, you put it away and you never really see it. And sometimes it can still be effective It's just at the end of the day, it kind of keeps you on track, you know, kind of like hanging the carrot in front of you. You see it, the more you see it, the more inclined you are to recognize, first of all, if it's still motivating you or if it's not motivating you, or, you know, like all those different things. So, because at the end of the day,
And
if
to
it
follow
doesn't
through.
motivate you, it's not going to work. Right. Follow through is a big deal. All right,
So
girlfriend. Yeah, go
I do
ahead.
have one question.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything new with your vision board?
Oh. Yeah, because there's a lot more to the story than I'll tell. And that's the great thing, right? It's all the
Yes.
stuff. There's a lot of other things, feelings, memories. A lot
Like,
of the
did anything
pictures.
come up? Like, did anything come up and you go, oh, right. Or, you know, like that. Yeah.
So what's interesting, one of our previous videos, I did your visualization technique. I followed through, you know, as you were doing it, as we were recording it. And at the end, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, just a second, I got to write some stuff down. I don't know if you remember that. And I just said, oh my gosh, like, yes, I know sometimes specifics, but I don't know about everybody. But for me personally, the stuff doesn't motivate me. It's the feelings around the stuff. I'm a feeler. I gotta, you know, it's feel everything. So it's the feelings associated. And that's what I got with that visualization technique is I was like really aware of how I wanted to feel about certain things. And so I wrote that down, and that is in that board. So again, that's not part of what I shared, but that's certainly part of the story that I tell myself. And yeah, I'm very aware of all the extras and the things that I missed and all of it. It's kind of crazy. Again, you know when a board's working for you. So I'm really excited. And I thank you, Cindy. I know we talked about this. We were talking about doing something. And then you humored me and said, yeah, she helped me on this vision board thing. Because I'm like, I can't imagine having anybody other than you, like, you know, Miss Creative. And you pushed me by saying, you know, at the end we're gonna actually do a reveal. I'm like, oh, okay, I hadn't done a vision board in a little while. I guess I'm doing a vision board. And by having a deadline for us to record this video, I had to have it done. And so I actually finished it early, which was awesome. And so I've been playing with it ever since. And so anyway, this has all been great. And I'm thrilled that I had an opportunity to push myself a little bit. And I hope this has been fun for you too. Has it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's always fun for me. Seriously, that's always fun. A new vision board, it's always fun for me.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to find your board. And can you see it?
Yep, I can.
Yay. Can I just say, I love your board. I love the colors. You know, you know, I love words. So this is fantastic. All right. So girlfriend, take it away.
Okay. So I'm very much into color. Color makes me feel, you know, it brings out feelings all the time for me, good ones. And I love, I like words, I like pictures, I like drawings, I like pasting things in there, I like glitter, I like anything I can throw in there. Just the visual, like for me, it's very busy, but for me, it's very colorful and it just grabs me.
I love it.
So I'll start. So this is me in the middle, and I'm holding the key. I kind of went with the same thing, the same visualization that we did. I went with that because even though I was walking people through the visualization, I was also doing it too. So that's what I stuck with. So you'll see inside the head, there's all kinds of people inside the head. That's all the different parts that are balanced of me.
You're amazing, Cindy. I'm telling you.
Keep going. So let me think. Okay, so I have, this is about health. This is what I want to see in my life so that I can feel better, so that I can do more things, be more active, be happier, have fun. So I concentrate, like I put physical good health, because that's what people think about when you say good health. But I also have, I'm not going to be able to point the places out like you did, Jennifer, but if you look at this, I do include mental health, because that's very important. Like to have to be okay with yourself, to be easy with yourself, and like to oh, just to know yourself, know what you want, what your likes are, what you don't like.
Yeah.
So that's that. I have relationships, and I have sneakers for going to the gym, and I have what if you saw things differently. I'm really like I put stress into that, because just because you feel the way you feel, Jennifer, doesn't mean that I'm going to feel the same way. So
Absolutely.
but I always love to try to work through the different opinions and stuff. Like everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
And nobody's right. Okay, what else do I have in there? I have clarity. I have feeling good. I have self-care. I have to work at self-care all the time.
Don't we all?
I have a health issue with rheumatoid arthritis, so I'm constantly trying to make myself move, because if I sit, or if I make an excuse that I can't do something, then that's not a benefit to me, because I'll just seize up, I'll feel worse, I'll feel more pain. So I have to work through it. And so that's the other part of the physical good health. What else do I have? Magic. I like swimming. I need to balance myself all the time. Like I'm a person that actually feels when I'm out of balance. Like if one part of my life is out of balance, it kind of wreaks havoc on the rest of mine. So I have to really try to balance everything.
Awesome.
What else is in there? Water. Drink water. That's a chore for me. I have to remind myself all the time. I have to look at my.
Who's the picture up in the top left? Who's that?
Oh,
you can say.
Oh, you can just say that's me. See all the lovely, colorful pillows, and she's got a cup of tea, and she's just sitting there relaxing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
I did. And flowers I love flowers. Love flowers. Love. So you'll always see flowers on my boards, because they just bring me joy.
Wonderful. It's fantastic, Cindy.
Oh, thank you.
There's like you say, there's a lot going on. But isn't there a lot going on in all of our lives at any given point in time? Like we don't even think about all of that stuff. But as you go through, as I read any of it, like improve, I could sit and think about improve and what that means to me in my life, till the cows come home. Like, I mean, you could just, you could think about any of these things, and it brings with it all the feelings and the thoughts and the images and the people, or, whatever. You can get so much from it. And I love that, because maybe one day you focus on one part of the board, you don't even necessarily have to look at it all. And I love what if you saw things differently? The first thing that came to my mind, of course, is my absolutely favorite quote in the universe by Wayne Dyer. It's when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So I love the idea of, trying to see things from other people's point of view and recognizing there's no right or wrong. We're both technically right. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to dispute about stuff. You don't have to fight about things. It's learning to recognize that just because you think something doesn't necessarily mean that's right for everybody.
It's
But
learning how
also,
to respect other
exactly,
people's opinions. Yes.
exactly. And also when you change the way you look at the things that you're currently doing, right?
Yes.
When you change the way you look at it, how you feel about it changes. And so sometimes people could have one area of their life that they beat themselves up about. Could be a relationship or it could be whatever. And sometimes that can be a great thing, a great activity to say, how can I look at this different? Or if somebody had, let's say, the relationship that I wanted, what is it that they're doing maybe differently than I'm doing, or whatever. Like there's so many things you can sort of bring to the table for that. I love your board.
Right.
It's
And
definitely
concentrate on people's strengths, not what they're lacking, kind of thing, for the
well,
relationship.
it's funny, Cindy. I know you and I are both individuals who love personal development, and I find the more I work on myself and the more I overcome my crap and I recognize how hard it is to slog through some of your own crap and stuff like that, that you get to the point where you have so much more empathy and compassion for other people and their opinions and all that kind of stuff. And it's really, I guess it puts out some of the fire that we're all sitting there. Like, I don't know what other people's experience is like, just in life, but and there's been a whole lot of, and I don't pay attention to it, and I filter so much stuff in my social media experience, but there's some people that are just I don't know, waiting with bated breath to be offended, right? And like, it's crazy. So it's amazing as you work on yourself, and this is just one of many ways that we can get to know ourselves and start working towards creating a life that we really love, that I don't know, you become a lot kinder to everybody, because when you learn how to be a little more kind to yourself, right, then
That's right.
you can't give what you don't already have. So many
You need
people
you
think
need,
that they're giving, but you can't give what you don't have.
you need to fill yourself up first before you can fill anybody else's. So
Exactly.
yeah,
I love that saying, right, when you're on an airplane, right? If all of a sudden you drop below altitude or whatever, it's to put on your own oxygen mask before you help someone else. Imagine for a moment that you don't do that. Like,
exactly.
you can't really be there to support anybody else if you can't breathe. So, and it's true. And I think sometimes that we dismiss that, and the first person we'll give up on is ourselves, and it should be the first person we actually take care of. And I don't know if it's a quote, and I remember having to take some time to really chew on it a little bit, to say it is important to be selfish so that you can become selfless. And it was like, oh, I didn't like the word selfish. I never really wanted to associate with that, but then it's like, no, I get it. Again, fill your cup so that you can
Yes.
help other people.
And don't you find, Jennifer, too, as women, we're nurturers, so we tend to give to everybody else and
Yeah.
ourselves last.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
yeah.
In my vision board, I've got it right up in front of me right now. On my vision board, my very bottom of my tree trunk was accountable. And of course it says I am. I can't believe I didn't put that board up instead of, but anyway, but accountable. That is, I just recently joined an accountability group, and it's really pushing me out of my comfort zone again, which is really great, because when you get a little bit uncomfortable, it's a sign that you're growing, right? Stretching, thinking about things differently, pushing yourself to new places. So it's a good thing, because it's like a rubber band. If you keep stretching that, after a while, that becomes your new normal. And that's, certainly something that is important to me, to continue to grow. So I don't even know what I was saying. Something about accountability, my mind went. Okay, I had a senior moment, Cindy.
Oh, I just wanted to say one more thing.
Yeah. And then we got to talk about the question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to share this because it's funny, and it may be a learning experience for other people who are just starting to do their vision boards.
Yeah.
But I was telling Jennifer last night, so I've done my vision board. Oh, and it's been done for a little bit because that's the way I work. And I was looking at it last night, and I saw Like I was looking at it, and the one thing that stood out was a misspelled word, which with me is like, I can't believe it. And I was like so hard on myself, I couldn't believe it. And I go, I can fix that. And so I just pasted something over the word, and nobody
Off you
knows
go.
it's there except me. And now every time I look at that corner, but I'm just saying that just to
Yeah.
just to point out that it's yours. No one else has to even look at it if you don't want it.
Exactly.
And like it's if it makes you laugh, if it makes you think, that's a good thing.
Well, it's funny because as we were talking about that just before we started the recording, and I was just like, that is a great opportunity to practice being kind, because I am that person. I know I've been there, done that at least a million times, and maybe a million more on top of that. That if in a journal, in a calendar, if I'm writing notes in a scribbler, I'm telling you, the commitment, I can't stand when I make a mistake.
No.
And it's not because I can't make a mistake, because I can, but there's visually, I guess I'm very visual that way, that I see that, and then it just, my mind's going to fixate on it. So then it's funny, and I talk to Jacob about this all the time, and Trevor, my husband, and you know, it's like things, as much as the dictionary has a meaning for words, it's like experiences and all this kind of stuff really doesn't have meaning. We give meaning to those events, right? And this is one of those things where you can choose to create a story that serves you. So it could be a little more lighthearted, and it's okay to make mistakes, and that just means anybody can do this, and you know, sort of release the brakes. And with practice, that becomes sort of your, I don't know, a little bit more of a go-to, or at least you start beating yourself up, and then it's like, damn it, you catch yourself, right? I mean, there's a whole process of how you make change, but.
And one of the good starting vision boards is like, what do you find fun? What's your definition of fun? Because sometimes we forget. Yeah. Because we're so busy. So that is a good one. And it's one, like if you put like the word fun in the middle of whatever, or even if you do it digital, and you just add things, you know, like you don't have to do it all at once. You could just, oh, right, I really liked swimming. I forgot to put that on there, and then add it then. You know, and then look at your board, because a lot of people think that they don't have any fun activities. They don't do anything fun anymore. They don't, you know, so it's kind of a reminder also that there is fun in your life still, and maybe you should try to improve on that.
Exactly. Well, and sometimes we need those reminders. I mean, I know people all the time that say, oh, there's nobody around, there's no friends, there's nothing to do. It's like you hear these things, they're blanket statements, and it's like you're part of the problem. You're literally making a statement that keeps you stuck.
Yes.
Start focusing on, well, how could I change that? Where are the people? Where can I go? What can I do to, you know, and then, you know, sometimes a vision board's a great way to play with that idea. And it's amazing what will come to you. Because even, like I said, as I started playing with this board, and by playing with it, I mean visualizing and just looking at it and telling the story. And then I'm like, oh, I forgot that. And I forgot that. Like, it's where the clarity comes from, but you got to do something to start.
Yes.
Right.
And you can't nobody can make you happy. You can only make you happy. So that, you know,
we must take responsibility
what
for
that is. Yes.
Yeah. And that's a really great point, because I really don't know anybody who doesn't tell me that they want to be more happy, more free, more at peace, more. There's always something that they know that they want more of, but are we taking responsibility to create that? I'm not saying that in the moment you know how. The things on my vision board, if I knew how to be a 5-wide national vice president right now, trust me, I'd be one. I don't know, but the more I think about it, the more maybe I'll ask some questions, and I'll start like, well, who has that? What are they doing? What are they doing that I'm not doing that I could do? And, you know, start going in those directions. So, but you got to start somewhere.
The important thing is that you know that you want that.
Absolutely.
So how are you going to put that into practice, kind of thing?
Hence the
Yeah.
accountability group.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So there was a question. Let's go here. There was a question that was posed in, I don't know. I don't think I did a poll. I think I asked the question, have you ever done a vision board before, kind of thing, to see what people had said. Many people actually had never done a vision board. And I have to be honest, if it weren't for my current business that I've been doing for almost 15 years, I had never been asked to do a vision board prior to that, in any other aspect of my life, through career or school or anything. It wasn't something that I don't even know. I'm sure when somebody said vision board, I had an idea of what it was, but I'd never done one. So I get it. And that's really exciting, right? For the first time to start diving into something and sort of create life a little bit more intentionally is pretty cool. And there was someone that had posted and said that they had done a vision board before. Here, I just got the notes sort of roughly written down. Didn't find it super helpful, right? She saw all the things that she wanted to be doing. And when she asked herself, am I truly working towards these visions or goals? The answer is usually no, or kinda. Shrug your shoulders and move on. And she said, any tips? So Cindy, let's talk about this. This is a great question. I mean, this is like anything, right? This is like anything in our life, that how many people have some experience in their life that's like, I know what I need to be doing, but I'm not doing it. So
But I'm
what do you
just
think
not
could be going
motivated
on?
to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think could be going on?
Well, first, I'll say another thing also. Not everybody is going to identify with a vision board either, because we all do different things. We're all in different spaces in our lives. We're all in, we can't all be the same.
Yeah.
So
that'd be boring.
Yeah. So maybe you're not a visual person. Maybe you're not, but maybe you're just write down words, or like just use the word thing, or just use colors. What makes you feel good?
Yeah.
Maybe the goals, or maybe the vision board was too broad, like too much, too many things on it, like too overwhelming, like when you look at it, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to do that? Well, that might not be how you want to feel. So, like maybe you can take one aspect of your board and maybe enlarge that a little bit and see what you can do in that area of your life that, to make you feel better. And maybe just having a smaller set of goals maybe might help.
I know we talked about the wheel of life, and that's a really great point. In one of the posts, I put the wheel of life, and I put a really great activity in there. That's something that you can do with the wheel of life is you start out by looking at the sort of 8 pieces of the pie of your life, kind of represents all the different aspects of you. And what you can do is go to those 8 pieces and rate it between, say, 0, 1, whatever, and 10, right? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, and figure out what is the most in need of your attention. Like, what really sort of do you want to focus on? And maybe, like you say, focusing on that one area for now. This may be about creating a new story about how, creating some little mini successes with a vision board. Like, and you said, could be too far off, it could be too broad. So maybe that narrowing it down, making things a little bit more realistic, could be more impactful, right? I think that's fantastic.
And your story does change all the time.
Oh my
your
gosh.
Story does.
100%.
Like if you may have, either if you're journaling, if you're vision boarding, you may have a board that you can look at now and think, oh my, I've accomplished everything. Or the same as with journaling. Maybe, you could go back in your journal, and it's just it's an ongoing work.
It has to evolve, because we have to evolve. Otherwise, maybe you're miserable, right? Like, if you don't evolve, you will become miserable. If you feel that you're in a rut or a funky place in your life or whatever, then it's going to change what you have to focus on. And so that's one thing that I wanted to mention is some of the stuff that I was pulling up as I was researching for this event in the beginning, I want to share, because this one I hadn't shared throughout the week, but it sort of bleeds into that personal values assessment, that survey that we did post in the event. But it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is really interesting because it talks about the very, let's say at the bottom going up, okay? There's some basic needs that we have to have met first before we can really focus our attention on the next level and the next level. And then, if that makes sense. So at the bottom of this, like really foundational needs are your physiological needs. So air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. You know, there's stuff that's just so important. If any of that is off, right? If you're feeling like right now with this pandemic, how many people are feeling a new level of uncertainty and stress, and you know, maybe somebody's lost their job, or they couldn't pay their rent, or they couldn't pay a mortgage, or you know, like they're just like freaking out at that foundational level. Pretty hard to focus on, hey, I want to travel, but I don't know where the food's coming from. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's something just to take into consideration. And that survey, that personal values assessment, that's based on that concept. And so I really want to encourage anybody who that might resonate with, right? That some of those lower ones might not, like safety needs, even like personal security, employment, resources, health, you know, all that kind of stuff. If that's not intact, not feeling really solid in those areas, then it's going to be challenging to focus on the bigger fluffy stuff, right? Because that's not nearly as important as, you know, personal security and your employment, like paying your bills and putting food on the table and all that kind of stuff. But in here, if you do that survey, put in your email, right, and get that back, it gives you sort of a breakdown about you, and then explains it. And then there's some really great self-reflection and next steps. So there's like questions, like exercises that can help you sort of expand your thinking, your awareness, because we can't change anything we're not aware of, right? And that we don't own. And so I found those really fantastic, great tools. I'm sure there's like so much more, but that, you know, if you guys need any more ideas or tips or anything like that, I hope that you'll comment and get engaged, be part of the conversation, because chances are if you've got a question, a ton of other people have the same question and they're just not asking it. So what do you think of that, Cindy, what I just shared?
That's the survey's an excellent way to get to know yourself. Just a good self-reflection. You can almost probably tell how you've evolved so far too with the survey.
Yeah, it's kind of neat because it really it gives you a scale breakdown of whether or not you are more like the words that you put down. If it shows you as someone who's more in some of those basic foundational things, that's your focus right now, or if you're somewhere in the middle or somewhere at the top. And again, no right or wrong, and we're all evolving. And life changes and throws us, like this pandemic, right, has thrown people on their butt. I know when my mom passed away, you know, or when she was sick, diagnosed with cancer, things like that, like throws you on your butt. What mattered to me the day before, it was a whole different story the next day. And they say with major life events, so having children, getting married, getting divorced, moving, all that kind of stuff changes your priorities. Mm-hmm. So just be aware that even a vision board or thinking about what really matters to you, it really depends on where you're at today. Don't lie to yourself about, well, that mattered to me last year. No, right? Like really think about where you're at right now, because it's like when you're trying to drive somewhere, if you wanted to get directions, like how do I get from here to, how do I get to town from my house? If I don't know where I'm starting from, I am never going to have accurate directions to take me where I want to go, right? So you have to be really honest about where you are right now. And I think that can really help too as a tip for, like, if you're finding that it's not working for you. Oh, another thing we're going to say, I know we talked about this a little bit before, Cindy. that if you're looking at your board, I know you alluded to this a little bit too, but if you're looking at your board and the inner dialogue in your head is, well, that's never going to happen. And I don't know, that doesn't feel good. Or, you know, like whatever, right? Oh, that's a stupid picture. If there's a bunch of negative crap happening in your head when you're looking at the vision board, I don't know, you might need to put that away. And you might need to
Yes.
start over.
Put it away. But you know,
You're supposed to feel.
Your mind can change though. If you know, put it away for a little bit.
That's why I said
Take
don't
it.
throw it away, but put it away
Yeah.
for right now. That's
Yeah.
not working for you today.
Yes.
Because that's not the dialogue. I mean, and again, you get to choose the dialogue. I know that's a tough one to actually take responsibility for, because we get to create the story. And if I was to say anything as a tip for that, if you have that negative sort of, if there's any negative or negativity associated with dialogue, but looking at your vision board or anything in life, use that as a teacher. Get really curious. Ask a question like, what the heck is that about? Like, what is it about that that's frustrating me? Or what is it? Why can't
Yes.
that happen?
Your
You know,
feelings tell a lot.
they tell you just about
Yeah.
everything you need to know about your journey, right?
That's yeah.
So anyway, anything else you want to add, Cindy, to this? Because this has been spectacular. I think that
I think it's an awesome the vision board is an awesome tool to add to your toolbox, as in all your the ones, your happy hours that you're doing.
yeah.
Like they're all excellent. Like you can learn a lot of stuff, and you know, it makes you think. It makes you think, well, even if you don't think you're stuck, sometimes you are.
Yeah.
So like just little questions can just get you to think, oh, maybe I do want that, or oh, I never thought of that before.
I
So
love it when
it's
you have
a
those
great
moments.
tool.
I never thought of it that way before. I love those moments,
Yes,
right? Like when somebody, and
exactly.
sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me. I'm hearing the same thing again. And I'm like, okay, I have to be hearing this another time because I'm supposed to hear it. Like now I need to listen to it. And as well, you know, as you're hearing things, sometimes you hear it from a different person in a slightly different way. And now you get it. Like you have to expose yourself consistently, like just ongoing, to people that are having meaningful conversations. And I hope that that's kind of what these events bring to light, is just some meaningful conversation about living well, living a great life. And I mean, it's not my great life is right for everybody. No. Success and living well is individual. It's whatever is important to you. And I just love that some of these conversations have an opportunity to create that space. Like, what if, right? And something that I just want to mention, when my mom passed away, on her desk, as we were emptying stuff out of the house and whatnot, on her desk was these little, just, I don't even know, I can't even remember if it was her writing or if it was something that she'd cut out from somewhere. And I'm like, this is so good. And if you're ever sitting there and you're a little bit negative, like, oh, this can't happen, you know, whatever. I think it was 4 questions. So, you know, when you first, let's say you look at the board and you feel a little negativity, or you feel a little, that's far off, or that's not possible. Ask yourself why, right? Why are you saying that? And then say, why not? Why not me? And why not now? Right? I like those 4 questions. They're kind of fun because I don't know, it can be just that simple. That sometimes you stop yourself in your tracks, sort of check yourself at the door and be like, why not me? Why not? Right? So anyway, I mean, I certainly have been a whole fair share of skeptical and all those things, negative. Oh my God, what am I going to put that? But all, you know, past life kind of thing. But I still really am aware that we all have that capacity, because I certainly have done that to myself. And I've seen myself put things out there and it happened. So why not? And why, if that's happened, if I've done this before, why can't I do a little bit more? Or why can't I? So, I mean, really our potential's limitless. And I mean, granted, I'm probably not going to be personally a rocket ship or something like that, but I mean, we have so much potential. We barely tap into it sometimes. Most people are putting one foot in front of the other and living by default, doing the same thing they did the day before, wearing the same clothes they wore, 90 times before, and having the same repetitive conversations with people and a whole bunch of the same.
Or being too wrapped up on what people think about
Right?
your
Yeah.
choices or whatever. Where it's all about you. Like even the vision boards and the other tools that you're helping with, Jennifer, it's to help you live a better life, to make better choices for you, not anybody else. So
I love it. Thank you so much, Cindy. This has been
you're
fantastic.
welcome.
And I'm going to be inviting you back many, many times. Now we just got to figure out what are we doing next. So I just want to put this out there to you guys. If you have ideas of something you'd like to see, if maybe there's something going on in your life or someone that you love or care about that you're like, something like this would be really, really valuable for our community, let us know. Post in the comments. Reach out to me personally if you want to do that, if you don't feel comfortable putting a comment out there. Because really, at the end of the day, this is about all of us, right? So whatever it is that we want, it's important. And I love these conversations, and I hope you guys do too. So thanks so much, everybody, and thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Being part of this.
Thank
And
you.
board. All right, have a great day, you guys. Bye.
Bye.